The latest on defenders Jean-Claire Todibo and Radu Drăgușin. Vicario has stated he feels proud of the way that Spurs finished 2023. It has been confirmed by the club that Kamsahamida Sarr has signed a new contract until 2030. The Spurs women have just announced their first signing of the January transfer window. Reguilón has returned to Spurs from Manchester United. Reports are stating that Soonsup Bell could go out on loan in the January transfer window. And other reports are stating that Spurs are open to letting Dyer leave this January window, with the likes of Sporting and West Ham interested.
Chris Cowlin. Fan cams. Club news. Transfer news. Match previews. Legend interviews. Spurs women. Press conferences. Covering everything Tottenham and England.
Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all keeping well. This is another edition of Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit the subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. So let's start with some comments from our goalkeeper Vicario after Spurs beat Bournemouth 3-1. Our goalkeeper said, "I think it's a very big win because we faced a very, very tough team. They are a very strong side. We had to have a strong mentality. Our football wasn't at the top as we have showed in other games, but I think with courage, staying together and having the desire to win this game, we did it. Everyone did their best in every tackle. Every defensive player was outstanding. Ben Davies, Pedro Porro, Emerson Royal, Eric Dyer, who came in, Destiny Udogie. They all made it easier for me. Just one save, so I'm proud of that. And maybe in the last game, we missed this desire and mentality to concede nothing. But against Bournemouth, we showed that we have this quality, and now we have to keep going in this way. It was an important night, the best way to end 2023. We are proud. Now a quick rest, and then we go again in the FA Cup." On Tuesday, it was announced by Tottenham Hotspur Football Club that midfielder Kamsahamida Sarr has signed a new contract with the club that will run until 2030. The Senegal international midfielder 21 has been a revelation this season. His all-action style and ability to cover the ground really catching the eye in Ange Postecoglou's new look team. In the official club statement, it said he's featured in 18 of our 20 games in the Premier League so far this term, starting 16, and opened his goal-scoring account for us in style with his first goal in our 2-0 win against Manchester United in August, before also hitting the target in our 3-1 home victory against Bournemouth on New Year's Eve. He's now up to 33 appearances for us in all competitions. On Tuesday evening, it was officially announced by Tottenham Hotspur Football Club that the Spurs women have their first signing of the January transfer window. In an official club statement, it says, "We are delighted to announce that we have signed Sweden international Matilda Vinberg, subject to a work permit and international clearance." The 20-year-old attacking midfielder has joined us from Swedish club Hammarby IF following the expiry of her contract, and her deal with Spurs runs until 2026. The Spurs women have also announced details of the FA Cup fourth round tie against Sheffield United. The game will take place at Brisbane Road, the home of Leyton Orient Football Club, on Sunday the 14th of January. The kick-off time will be 2 p.m. So broadcaster Ben Jacobs said earlier on Tuesday that a deal now for Jean-Claire Todibo looks unlikely for Tottenham. Tottenham are pessimistic because Nice do not want to sell the defender. Only a bid of around £60 million may change their mind. But a latest update from Fabrizio Romano on Radu Drăgușin, he has stated that the defender has now accepted all details of Tottenham contract proposal as personal terms have been agreed. Despite public statements on new deal, he is now waiting for Tottenham. And the clubs, Tottenham Hotspur and Genoa, remain in talks to get this deal done very soon. Now, the Times newspaper have just provided an update on the Jean-Claire Todibo situation, and they are stating that talks between Spurs and Nice actually stalled due to Nice trying to inflate the transfer fee to cover a sell-on bonus that they are due to pay Barcelona when they sell the defender. Spurs left-back Sergio Reguiln is on his way back to Tottenham. BBC Sport have just stated that Manchester United have triggered a break clause in Sergio Reguilon's loan move, allowing the defender to return to Spurs. Reguilón was signed by United back in August following injuries to the likes of Luke Shaw. The 27-year-old made 12 appearances, most recently as a late sub at Nottingham Forest on Saturday. He started on 7 occasions, most recently in the 3-0 home defeat by Bournemouth on the 9th of December. With Shaw expected to return to action this month, Manchester United have opted to let Sergio Reguilón return to Premier League rivals Tottenham. Spurs are 5th in the Premier League table, 1 point outside the top 4, while Ange Postecoglou's side are also 8 points and 2 places above Erik ten Hag's struggling Manchester United team with half the season played. But interestingly, Italian journalist and transfer expert Fabrizio Romano has stated that Sergio Reguilón is expected to leave Spurs again during this January transfer window as he wants regular first-team football. Loan options are being considered. There is interest from various Premier League clubs and Borussia Dortmund in Germany. They added him to their list in December. The race remains open. The Times newspaper have also reported on Sergio Reguilón, and they have stated it is likely that he will go out on loan again in January, with the likes of Sevilla, Villarreal and Bournemouth all interested in the Spurs left-back. Fabrizio Romano has also provided an update on Tottenham Hotspur under-21 star Jude Soonsup Bell. He could leave Spurs in the January transfer window on loan, as he has attracted interest from various Championship and League One clubs. Soonsup Bell has had a great start to this season, 9 goals and 5 assists in 12 games so far this season. Now, lots of the national press have covered this story. This one is from TalkSport, and they are stating that Manchester United are hopeful of having goalkeeper Onana in the starting 11 for their clash against Tottenham on Sunday, the 14th of Jan. The goalkeeper has been named in Cameroon's squad for the Africa Cup of Nations, which kicks off on the 13th of Jan. Premier League clubs with selected players for the tournament were obliged to release them on Monday to join their countries, and a report from the Daily Mail, they are stating that Onana is set to be available for Manchester United's FA Cup tie against Wigan on Monday, and they want to keep him even longer. They have stated that Erik ten Hag's side are said to be in talks now with Cameroon about having Onana for their Premier League home game against Tottenham. This is scheduled to be played on the 14th of Jan, a day before Cameroon's first AFCON game against Guinea. After the Spurs game, Onana faces a 7-hour flight to the Ivory Coast to join his international teammates for the tournament. If Cameroon are knocked out of their group stages, the 27-year-old could return for United in the FA Cup 4th round if they beat Wigan. ESPN have reported that Tottenham Hotspur are open to letting defender Eric Dyer leave on a free transfer during the January transfer window, rather than letting him leave when his contract expires at the end of this season. The likes of Sporting and West Ham are interested in the former England international. Now, my thoughts on these stories and rumours in this episode. Let's start by saying it's been a very, very busy day. Lots going on, but some really positive news today. Papamata Sarr signing a new deal. That is absolutely brilliant news. He has been sensational so far this season under Ange Postecoglou, but then who hasn't under Ange Postecoglou? He's getting the best out of this squad and this team, and certainly getting the best out of players like Papamata Sarr. This is a really, really good piece of news coming out of Tottenham, and it just goes to show as well that these young players, they are signing for the future, and Ange Postecoglou is not only building for this season, but he's building for the future as well, and it is really, really great to see. Vicario saying that he feels proud of the way that Spurs finished 2023. So am I as a Spurs fan, and I think that most of us feel like that as well. The first half of 2023 was quite dismal. The second part of 2023 has been a breath of fresh air since Ange Postecoglou walked through the door in the summer. He has transformed this football club. I've said this time and time again, but the way that we have finished 2023, we're all optimistic going into 2024, and hopefully that we will see some really successful times in 2024 and beyond under Ange. But that what we're trying to build at the football club, it's all positive news at the moment, so it's great to see. And not only that, the Spurs women are now making moves in the January transfer window. A good signing for the Spurs women. Of course, they want to go that next level. I spoke to Robert Villaham, the manager, on a number of occasions, and he says that this season it is all about the style, and next season it is about going for those Champions League spots. So I'm sure that the Spurs women will be making big moves in the upcoming transfer windows, and they certainly want to improve and go to that next level. Reguilón returning to Tottenham from Manchester United. I can't say that I'm surprised. I think that Ange Postecoglou and Spurs, the club, they want to move him on pretty quickly. He's obviously not in Ange Postecoglou's plans. I think that's very, very obvious. So a number of clubs are interested in him. So I think that, he'll probably return and then go out the door fairly quickly. Same, Eric Dyer. Perhaps he ought to leave, because if Spurs are thinking about or going to be signing a defender or two in this January transfer window, he's had very limited game time under Ange. Yes, he's had a little bit of game time only because of all the injuries, but I think that once you get Van der Ven back and Ashley Phillips starts making appearances and getting minutes for Spurs, and a new addition in the January transfer window, I don't think Dyer will even get a look in. So it'll be interesting to see whether Dyer holds out to leave when his contract does expire in the summer, or whether he wants game time, whether that's important to him this season, to go to the likes of West Ham in the Premier League or Sporting. Sporting, I wouldn't be at all surprised, because, of course, it's his former club. That's where he grew up. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if that was his next move. So Reguilón and Dyer, if they do move on in this January transfer window, obviously wishing them all of the very best. But it is about us as a football club to move on, offload the players that are not going to get game time, and Ange is not interested in. All we're interested in as Spurs fans is improving this team, improving this squad, and moving on as a football club, and trying to win those trophies and play decent, entertaining football time and time again. And I don't think that the likes of Reguilón and Dyer quite fit what Ange Postecoglou wants. Soonsup Bell possibly going out on loan, says Fabrizio Romano. I wouldn't be at all surprised. Of course, the under-21s have been on fire this season so far. Wayne Burnett has done a great job, and they've won every single game in Premier League 2. Hats off to all of them, and I've no doubt that with them playing so well, I've no doubt that some of those players now in that under-21 squad will want some competitive minutes, perhaps for a League One, a League Two, or a Championship side to get a lot of experience. And lastly, Todibo and Drăgușin. It's going to be interesting now to see what happens. It looks like the Todibo deal is dead because of various reasons. Spurs look set to be completing this signing of Radu Drăgușin. The clubs have been in contact in the last couple of days, states Fabrizio Romano. He is pretty confident that this deal is going to get done. It's just when it gets done. I can't see him featuring for the Burnley game. We're on Tuesday now at this time of recording, so we're 3 days away. If he does sign, I'm sure that he will feature in some way in the Manchester United game. But Ange wants signings in early. Spurs want to get the deals done early. Of course, that is music to all of our ears. As Spurs fans, we want deals done in early. But January should be a good month for Tottenham, because we've only got a couple of games in the Premier League, Manchester United and Brentford. Potentially we have or could have 2 FA Cup games, third round and fourth round. And hopefully we'll get Maddison and Van der Ven back in the starting 11 at some point during January, and that will be a huge boost. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit the subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you listen to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Spurs.